What's up everybody, my name's Luke from pre-owned menswear and vintage watch store Archer & Woods. So today I'm going to talk something a little bit out of my wheelhouse, but I've noticed something I just wanted to raise. It's probably been mentioned before, but yeah. So luxury watch brand Richard Mille, if you are unaware of them, they are these ostentatious, large, chunky watches with all sorts of gears and cogs in, and they are hyper expensive, crazy, and they're not my style at all. I'm a little bit more classic. I couldn't afford one if I wanted to anyway. I mean, they go from roughly around £300,000 to well into them over £1 million. So a significant wedge. And I'll never want to kink shame. I never want to be like, look, I'm not right because I like more vintage, more classic watches. I do feel like someone can like both as well. So I have no issue with the watches itself. I think the prices are outrageous, but for those who know more about horology and really care and put especially their money and their wealth into it, these are really spectacularly made machines. I would argue from the style point of view of how long of a shelf life these are. I mean, the thing I wanted to bring up today was just learning from patterns and history of watches like this. For instance, Jacob & Co watches. There was a video that producer Michael guy did recently where he just bought about 10 of these watches for a small percentage of what they used to go for retail. Jewelers would just want to get rid of them. Now they're having a little bit of a comeback, and I think a part of that is because of these Richard Mille watches that are popular, and these gaudy watches are becoming a bigger thing. The specific point I wanted to bring out today, the specific sort of trend and pattern I've seen, which is for me a death knell on these watches, is that the Premier League and football in general have latched onto them. Well, okay, it's probably more the brand itself have latched onto the Premier League. Whilst there'll be huge brand growth, no doubt about it, people that are not into watches at all will know these watches, and else when you see them on people's wrists, you'll be aware that they're Richard Mille rather than any other brand. If you look at history and you look at a brand like Hublot, that for me, when they used to sponsor the Premier League and they used to have the substitutes board with Hublot on the bottom, when David Moyes was wearing a Hublot, when Jamie Vardy's wearing a Hublot, every player in the Premier League was wearing one, and manager. So it's not even the young, attractive, hip. Who says hip? You've got people like David Beckham. Now he's an ambassador for Tudor and some real nice watches, and this is the sort of guy that you'd expect to wear more of a Richard Mille watch. For how long is it going to be worthwhile? How long are these watches going to really matter to people? Because if you look at Hublot, they become effectively a hate figure in the watch world. I personally don't mind them that much. They're okay, but the Richard Mille watches, they're way more expensive, way more over the top. So that also makes me feel like the lifespan of these watches being anywhere near desirable is very short, and that's okay. I mean, I suppose if you've got the money to spend on one, you probably don't care if they drop in 50 grand or something. But for those that aspire, looking at these watches and aspiring to these watches, possibly some, there's always, when there's money, there's people that are desperate and they just use their credit cards. That's what I would be concerned about. But again, not here to kink shame, not here to judge anyone's interests or their style or anything like that at all. It was just a little thing I noticed recently, and you can see where this is going. The patterns, the same thing. And when there's huge money, patterns seem to follow these things. So yeah, anyway, let us know your thoughts. Check out Archer & Woods for pre-owned menswear vintage watches. Yeah, so there's Omega, Rolexes, Cartiers. We've got some really cool new suits in as well recently. Any questions, let us know. It's hello@Archer & Woods or @Archer & Woods on all the socials. Cheers.